Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Pemko HSS2000 by S88W roll of white colored smoke fire gasket seal. This is a special version. It is the HSS2000. Okay, that HSS2000 separates it from the standard S88W. The S88W is the typical bulb shape smoke and draft control sort of product, teardrop shape. S88, in my experience, is the part number synonymous with this type of material. The W means white, and it's available in several different finishes. Let's talk about that first. Black, clear, the dark brown's color, gray, tan, and of course white. In addition to those different colors, different roll lengths are available as well. 18, 20, 21, 24 foot. This is an 18-foot roll. Okay, 18 foot would be very typical for a 3 foot by 7 foot door, even though it's one additional foot longer than technically needed. It would certainly do the job. Now, this material is different from the S88, as we said earlier, because it has this backer on it, and I'm pulling out a bit of it from the packaging so we can get a much better look at it. Okay, this material has a graphite strip on the back of it. We're getting right to the heart of why this is different. This graphite strip on the back of it, which is what the adhesive is applied to. The silicone is put down to that graphite in such a way that it's not removable without destroying it, of course. It is permanently affixed to it. That feature makes this material significantly more durable in terms of a long-lasting installation than the standard S88 alone. That is very important when you have any sort of listed fire-rated door opening, which of course you would be using this material on. You see this very common, very often installed in hotel suite entry doors. That's where I see this constantly, this sort of material. Okay. This material, because of its backer as well, it's tested and proven in positive pressure conditions to withstand both hot smoke and hot gases, resulting in longer integrity of the door assembly. Okay. Now, dimensionally, this material, that 1/2 by 1/4 inch that you see below this video, there's an image below this video showing everything important about it. You got half inch wide, and that's extremely common. You've got a 1/4 inch thickness, but that's the white bulb only. Then there's 3/64 of an inch thickness of the graphite. Okay, so keep that in mind when you're calculating your margin needed for that material. Now, your typical S88, the silicone, is so flexible that it can compress down to a near insignificant thickness, 1/16 of an inch. Pemko advertises that their S88 can be compressed down to margins as small as a 1/16 of an inch between the door jamb and the door. Obviously, you'll need to allow for the thickness of the graphite. You know, I'd want to be in my typical 1/8 of an inch, range of gap for this material. I wouldn't want to be anywhere beyond that. However, any sort of binding on the door frame of this material is going to cause a problem of it remaining self-closing. So I want to put my caliper on this and get an idea of how much it'll compress down. Yeah, it'll, without really any damage, it'll compress down to 110 thousandths. Okay, so that tells me that without too much trouble, an 1/8 of an inch is going to be fine for that. So if you're doing 3 foot doors, you'd want to have your door at 35 3/4 sort of door width. Installation of this material is really easy. No special tools are required. No special knowledge really is required, except what we're going to go over now. I've installed this material several times and would like to mention a few things about it. So the installation instructions are packaged with the material, and I want to go over that now. First of all, when you're done installing this material, okay, you're going to have a couple of labels. You're going to want to make sure that these labels are applied so that the inspector, who surely will be inspecting the openings, will know that the material is compliant with the listing requirements of the door. Okay, so going over the instructions at this point. Like I said, I've installed this material and feel it important to go over the instructions. First of all, if you're installing the material, the frame's got to be pretty much at room temperature. You're not going to install it on, something, at freezing temperature. Room temperature is what you're going to need to be. They say, between 50 and 100 degrees Fahrenheit, it's going to work in that range. Installation should take place after construction is completed, flooring is installed, and final cleaning is completed. Here's the important parts. Paint on the frame must be cured for at least 5 to 7 days. Very important. The paint cannot be wet underneath the dry surface when the gaskets are pressed on, etc., etc. If applying to a wood frame, the surface must be non-porous and sealed. Allow standard industry guidelines on sealed wood frames, etc., etc. So what they're saying is the frame's got to be completely cured if it's been painted. If it's a wood frame, it needs to be sealed. Okay. What it's not saying at this point is that the frame must be completely clean and free of any debris, dust, even any cleaning agent that might leave a residue on the frame needs to be removed. It's so critical that they include an alcohol pad for that. It's so critical, it must be done. Now, you've got a clean frame. You're installing the material at normal temperatures. You've got a clean frame. Application tips and warnings. Do not stretch the material. Products can retract or shrink if stretched. So what they're saying is, as you're applying this, don't pull it taut. Just push it onto the frame. Just simply push. That's all you want to do with a significant amount of pressure. Don't do anything like this. When you come in the next day, the material will have resumed its normal shape and it will be detached in areas. True story. Press very firm, perpendicular pressure when applying frame. Use wallpaper seam roller to reinforce adhesion after applying. So they're saying after you get it applied, I've never actually used a wallpaper seam roller to do that. However, it would be appropriate because it will not unintentionally stretch the material out any further. Don't stretch it out when you're using it. Roll up and down, roll in upward and downward motions. Double check the adhesion 2 or 3 hours after, before you leave for the night. If the gasket separates from frame, press again with firm pressure. If adhesive strip is exposed, airborne dust may impede adhesion. Replacement may be necessary. Application at header can be awkward due to overhead condition. Be sure to apply enough pressure. Adhesion takes delayed set. Immediate removal and resetting can be done if error occurs in initial placement. Do not reset after an hour. Full reset is reached in 24 hours. Okay, so those are properties of the adhesive that's on here. Now, actually on the right side of the instructions, they're talking about pre-cut the material to lengths. Your header and your jambs, cut those to length. You can even miter them with scissors. When you're putting it on, Pemko suggests that you peel away 24" of this material. I have found that that's too much to pull away. I like to work with a shorter amount of space, a shorter amount of exposed, for 2 reasons. It's more controllable when you're putting it on because the lines on your frame are very straight, and any waviness in your installation you'll be able to see, and it will look like a amateur job. Short amount of space allows you to control it, plus you don't want to unintentionally bump it onto the frame, which I've done before. Shorter lengths is what you want to work with. So cut the material to size, make sure it fits, then start your application process. I like working from the header, doing that first, and then working down, because the bottom, if I've got it cut a little bit long, I can get in there with an X-Acto knife and trim it really flush and straight. So the application, where you're going to be installing it, its orientation, okay? The bulb is always going to go against the face of the stop, as you can see. Really nice quality item from Pemko. They're a full-line manufacturer of all things adhesive, gasketing related, not only material somewhat less common in terms of selling it every day, like material listed for a fire-rated smoke gasket opening, but thresholds, perimeter gasketing, door sweeps, material made of aluminum, stainless steel, architectural bronze, and a full complement of residential weather stripping as well. Any questions on the Pemko number HSS2000 by S88W or any other Pemko product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.